Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning into Viewpoint on 96.3 FM. We've got a lot in store today. I do have a special caller who's going to call in and kind of give a quick report on his walking report. But anyway, before we get his report and he calls in Viewpoint fashion, we all know that Bill Gossett and Judy started Viewpoint many, many years ago. And Bill is going to be 100 years young on October 28th. So we've been starting our early birthday wishes to Bill. And anyway, he is going to be having an open house birthday party at the Congregate Building at the Christian Village, again, October 28th from 1 to 4. And if you cannot make the birthday party, open house, we're asking you if you would like to send a card, well wishes to Bill. You can send them here to the station, and we will make sure that Bill gets it. And the address here, just put on it, WLCN, P.O. Box 505, Atlanta, area code, zip code 61723. And I will be getting that on our Facebook page later on today, of that information, again, about his birthday party, open house, and the card shower. And again, early birthday wishes to Mr. Bill Gossett. And speaking of which, and the Christian Village, we have somebody here who does work for the Christian Village, but she's here wearing a different hat today. And her hat is with the Harvest of Talents. And it's Miss Julie King, or Mrs. Julie King, I should say. And we also have Carolyn Neal. Thank you both so much for coming here today.
Thank you.
Oh,
and,
thanks for asking us.
Oh, this is wonderful. And this is something I look forward to every year. I know the community does too. And want to say, if anybody has any questions for our two special guests, please feel free to call in 217-648-5510. So, ladies, how long has the Harvest of Talents actually been going on? I looked that up, but I forgot that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, Harvest of Talents began in 1983 with Pat Snyder, from hearing a sermon on world hunger, and her heart simply ached for anybody suffering from hunger and hunger-related causes. And she wondered, what can we do? What can we do? I mean, our listeners at home, what can you do about thousands of people going hungry every day? But she thought there must be something. And she knew from Scripture that everyone is gifted with a talent, and that we should use our gifts to administer God's grace in its various forms, 1 Peter 4:10. So based on that, she really asked God, what can we do? Can we share our talents? She was a farmer's daughter, and right now we're in the middle of harvest time, so you can imagine how she wondered if we could harvest talents and see if we could raise funds just by what we do. What do? We make cookies, we knit afghans, we sing songs, we do all kinds of things. Everybody's gifted in different ways. And so the first actual harvest day began at this time in 1984. So we are observing our 40th anniversary harvest. Unfortunately, without Pat, because she was called to heaven about 7 weeks ago. But we have such a wonderful day planned, and we hope as many of your listeners can come as possible to help celebrate the 40th anniversary. It's pretty amazing, really.
it is 40 years.
Yes.
40 years.
That's, it seems like it's gone by in a blink of an eye, really.
Yes.
And it's interesting, a lot of people, when you say talent, they automatically go to the performing arts and decide they don't have a talent, or they can't paint, or they can't this. They focus on the can't. And our question is, well, what can you do?
Right.
Well, I don't really like to be out front, but I run a clean kitchen. Would you like to manage the kitchen? I could do that. It's a talent. Go ahead. Hospitality. There are all sorts of things. Wash dishes. Recycle. Yeah. We have brought dollars in simply by a family deciding they're going to take their summer and see how much they can recycle. And so it was an entire family event that they made fun, but it turned into dollars for people who are starving. One of the things that really impressed me about Harvest when I first got involved was the willingness of small children to be involved. They get it. They really do. It's like they cannot imagine a peer, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, not having something to eat because they know they have something to eat every day. So to explain to them that there are children around the world and even in the United States that don't know where their meal's going to come from strikes them as horribly unfair. And so they ask what they can do about it, and that just blew my mind. So,
Are you still looking for help for volunteers?
Well, there's always a place for everybody.
Always.
I mean, yes.
You know,
and you
and-
don't have to be a member of Lincoln Christian
heavens,
Church.
no.
You know,
No.
I had somebody say that to me. I said, "No, you don't.
No,
you do not
it's coordinated
have to." Yeah.
at Lincoln Christian Church, but we have people on our minister team from Jeff Street Christian Church. Yeah, and back to the recycling, just a quick note. This Sunday, this particular Sunday, we will be collecting more aluminum cans if anybody wants to bring them in this Sunday. We also collect inkjet cartridges. That's just a side note. But as far as what people can do, I mean, even people in the nursing home pray for us.
they wrap silverware, because
Yes.
we serve food during the day, and so the flatware and the napkins come to the village, and they get together and they do
So
assembly
it truly
line.
is a community.
It is any age.
involvement.
It doesn't matter
Any
how
age
old you
doesn't
are.
matter.
It's all
No,
ages.
everybody's got something they can do.
So we are here to focus on October 28, Bill Gossett's birthday.
He's kind of a big deal. If you
Yeah,
ask
just-
him,
just
he will
a
tell
little,
you.
just a
He's kind of
little-
a big deal.
yeah, just a little bit
But
of a
we
big
also
deal.
want to know who is celebrating their 40th birthday or their 40th anniversary. We want to point that out too for fun. But it's our 40th anniversary. And yes, we'll have activities for the children, 4th grade and younger, from 9 to 11 in the basement at Lincoln Christian Church. I'm hoping we have a beautiful day, and we welcome everybody there. There's no admission fee, and there's plenty of parking because we're downtown Lincoln. We would appreciate it, though, if everybody would bring something non-perishable for the local food pantry. That would be helpful. And you can come and spend the day, or you can go to our website, harvestoftalents.org, and take a look at the daily schedule and the flyer that we have available, so you can pop in when it's convenient for you.
I know we were talking earlier what I enjoy, and I know this sounds kind of corny, but when you go walking in, you can smell the vegetable soup cooking outside.
Outside,
Yes, we have 3 big kettles
Yes.
outside that the guys
And if
are
you've, and to
cooking.
our listeners, if you've not smelled this soup outside cooking, I know this sounds corny, but it is, it's a beautiful aroma. It's
Yeah.
over open fire, and it gives that soup the best flavor, I think.
Yeah.
It
personally.
does.
And if you
it's
wanna-
what sets
yeah.
it apart is
Sorry,
because it's
Julie.
smoky.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
It is.
Now you've made me hungry. Thank you, Dara.
So if,
Anytime, Julie.
so if you want to stop by
And take a whiff of a
Saturday-
free whiff.
Well,
And then come in and buy.
Buy the soup. Yes, by all means.
yeah,
the soup,
because
but-
we'll be serving it in the dining room.
And we can get this to
10:30
go, too, correct? So if somebody can...
10:30 to 1. We'll be serving it in bowls.
Okay.
We will set aside some half-gallon containers that will be available for carry-out
After 11.
at 11 o'clock,
Okay.
only till supplies last.
Right. And I do
then-
know those go
They
like
go
hotcakes.
quickly.
They go quick.
do. Our son lives in Tennessee with his wife and baby, and we buy them a half gallon every year, freeze it, and then take it to them at Christmas because it's one of their favorite things. So,
It's one of mine.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so good.
It's
and like
good.
you said, we can freeze it and then warm it up. And
And you talked about smells. It's also the cinnamon rolls and the caramel
cinnamon
pecan
pecan
rolls.
rolls.
We have
Yes.
we have just a super team that puts their heart into that, and that's their talent. And so those will be served right away at 7 in the morning, and they'll go till 10.
Okay.
And any rolls that are left over will be put in the baked goods section, so you can still get them. Some people have pre-ordered them, and they'll be picking those up. But those are available for carry-out also. So I would encourage people who maybe want to stop by and get some for their office to stop by and enter through the northeast door, that's door E, and walk down there, and they can get their carry-out rolls.
You've
They
also-
are they're $16 for a box of 4 cinnamon rolls, and $18 for a box of
they're so
caramel
good.
pecan. They're wonderful.
And if anybody wonders, they're about the size of a baby's head.
I know, they're huge. I mean, they're not your
They're-
little
they're-
Pillsbury,
no.
roll.
No,
They
no.
are gigantic.
Yes.
Well,
They are.
Well, they're handmade,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're not all the same size.
Right. But they're so good.
They
Neither are all babies.
But it brings me to a good point to say, when you come on Harvest Day, every single penny that you spend on Harvest Day will go for hunger relief. And the reason is because people have donated ingredients, they've donated the materials for the handcrafts they make, they have donated everything. There's a sponsor behind everything, so
That
that
is
when
wonderful.
you come, your 100% goes to hunger relief. And that's true of all harvest events.
Wow.
Because this is not just
I'll say this
the
is not
fourth
just
Saturday
this is not,
in
yeah,
October,
yeah.
but we have events throughout the year, like Our Lady's Spring Tea, for example. We have 50 sets of Harvest special event license plates on cars right now, and there are lots of things that go on. We just finished a musical
offering.
concert.
Yeah.
It was a record offering for that.
Oh, wonderful.
I think it was a little over $6,500.
It was,
raised.
Julie.
Yeah.
And so everything raised since last harvest, all through this year, will be given to International Disaster Emergency Service on Sunday, October 29.
That's the interesting thing, too, is that people oftentimes ask us if there's seed money for the following year, and the answer is no. We zero
You
out.
zero out.
We
You
zero
start
out
fresh
on
again.
the Sunday after the event.
Yeah, we have no money. We have no
start
budget.
Again. No.
Wow.
No, everything.
Whatever's donated, that's what we offer for
that's
sale.
what we give.
Oh, that
and
is
it's
truly
It's so
amazing.
fun.
most
is
of
amazing.
your not-for-profit charity events, if you donate to someone, they tend to keep in anywhere from 1% to 4% of what you're given
Right.
for administrative fees, we'll call it that. And that's not the case with Harvest. If we give them $110,000.32, that's exactly what goes into buying food.
And how do we get 32 cents, Julie? We have little fish banks, and this is something to help get the children involved early as they put their change in there. Some people keep their fish bank in their car, and so I don't know that we've ever had a year that didn't have a penny or two in the total.
There's always
Yeah.
a couple of pennies thrown in there. And
That is neat.
why not?
But I think that's also the blessing of the harvest, is that it all goes, and it goes with our love and blessings in Jesus' name. This is nothing about Lincoln, really. It's nothing about
not about
anybody.
us.
It's about what can we do. That was Pat's prayer. What can we do and translate that into funds that can buy rice and beans? Now, to help people understand the need, we're also having what we call God Always Provides. It's a food packing event, and I really, really encourage people to come and participate, where you literally put in the rice and beans into bags with vitamins and minerals, and these are sealed up right there. You seal them up, and they are shipped to emergency situations, often to Haiti or wherever in the world they're needed. So your little bag of food can actually go to a family in crisis. So that's very, very special. And the other way to help understand the ministry behind Harvest of Talents, this year we are having a passport experience where for $10 you can buy a passport and it looks real. It's really cool.
Oh, neat.
And you will get to go to 7 stations throughout the church. And at each station, you will learn something about and participate in something about each of the 7 countries where the food is going this particular year. For example, you'll get a stamp when you go to the Haiti station, to Kosovo, to Tanzania, and you may learn something in Swahili. It's a really cool program, and I think children can join their parents. Now, if you're bringing your family, it's only $5 per family member then. So we're expecting a good turnout for that because it's not all about our handcrafts. It's about learning that thousands of people go hungry every day, and we want people to know that, yeah, we're having a great time and we have something to give, and we praise God for that. But the reality is we're trying to raise funds for hunger. Yeah. And so far in Lincoln, we've raised $2.8 million in 39 years. And we've had several spin-off sister harvests that join. They model after ours, and then they put their money in and give it to International Disaster Emergency Service as well. And that's based out of Noblesville, Indiana. They're a 4-star charity. You have nothing to worry about their integrity. And that's all on our website too. You can go to IDES.org to learn more about IDES so that you feel good about what you're doing.
Right.
Now, if you enjoy an auction,
I was going to say.
if you like to bump elbows and get into an auction, we have silent auctions during the day where people can come in, and some special items will have been pulled because they're very unique, or there's a provenance to them that we think would kind of stir some people.
Stir it up, excitement.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And if we can, rather than just put a set price on it, see if we can get some people to...
a nice bidding war.
A nice bidding war, that's exactly right. So we have at least 3 of those that we set up. One of them, because we received an abundance of quilts one year, that we decided to do a silent auction for some of the quilts, because in the big auction, those go well beyond many people's financial abilities, but they want one.
And there's some beautiful quilts.
Oh my gosh, these are heirloom quality quilts.
Yes, there's some beautiful quilts I've seen.
Heirloom quality
Especially those made by the Harvest of Talents quilters.
Oh yeah, they work all year.
And they're hand stitched.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have the silent auctions, which are fun, and then it's fun for me because I get to watch them bump each other out of the way and grab the pen when it's the countdown. You have to come and see it. But then we also have the large auction, which starts at 2:00, and that began, coincidentally, several years ago with a ceramic nativity set that the residents at the Christian Village painted.
Really?
Yeah, back in the day when they were still doing ceramics, they put together a really nice sized nativity set. And the conversation amongst the team was, well, we can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
So why don't we auction it off? And that became, well, there's some other items we could put with that, because those are pretty unique as well. And that's how the auction got started. Chan Fuller was our first auctioneer, and then probably 25 plus years later, ago, Mike Mosky took it. And he's been our auctioneer ever since.
Oh, how neat.
Gary Morris tossed in, and they did a duet a couple of years. That was interesting because there were 2 different styles of auctioneer. I couldn't understand either one of them.
But
But they had energy.
Mike is that voice that finishes the harvest day.
Yeah.
Big heart for the harvest. And a lot of people will buy things that they don't need, but they know that someone else in the group, in the audience there, wanted it so bad, and they will just give it to them. So,
how neat.
It's really neat.
since it's a donation, it's not about shopping, so to speak.
It's about love.
But
It is.
It's about love.
I hope you can stop by and have a look. There's something for everybody
There
on
is.
it. And Julie's modest, but actually she and her husband set it up, and they have a talent for displaying all these beautiful things that people have made. It may include furniture.
Yeah.
It may
And Julie's been teasing us, I might want to add. You've been
Oh.
teasing us on social media.
I have.
You're fine. On time. Don't worry about time. But you've been teasing us on social media with some of your creations. And so there is an item that I do like.
Okay, well,
she
they need to
You
go
got
to the
several
harvest page.
items.
There's several items. If you guys don't mind me telling
No, please do so. Yeah.
a brief story. When I got my husband involved, he's one of those that didn't believe he had a talent, and he's
gosh.
pretty exceptional. But we do repurposing, and I can pick something up and say, well, it could be this, or it could be that, or this. Just put this with that, and here it is. And he's like, how do you do that? I don't know. It's my ADHD kicking in, I guess. But one Saturday, we were coming home from Forsyth, and we took the old, the Warrensburg Blacktop.
Yep.
And I shouted at him, "Stop the truck!" And he's like, "What?" Scared him to death. There was a small rocker, what most people would call a fireside rocker. And I said, "Back up, back up, back up." And so we picked this. It had a broken runner, and they were throwing it out. So he fixed the runner on it, and then he painted it and turned it into a Christmas rocker. So it was something that was truly thrown to the side of the road. He put the runner on it, and we tossed around things we could do with it, and he decided he would paint it. So it was red and green and gold, and it really turned out lovely. But this was his first real...
His project.
Someone chose it to put in the auction, because we weren't setting up the auction at that time, and we let people choose our stuff. We don't say, oh, this must go into the auction. No, it's a team that looks at each piece with a critical eye and said, yes, this is an auction piece. So the piece went in. It probably, was trash, so that didn't cost anything. Might have been $2 to make a new runner, and less than $3 in paint. And it sold for $350.
Oh my goodness. That's wonderful.
But that's repeated
and my
many
husband,
times.
yes,
at
my
the
husband sat
auction.
there and he's like, "What? Wait, what? Huh? What?" He was watching the paddles go flying up, and he goes, "I don't understand." And he got a little bit emotional about it because he knew what he knew what he put in it. And I said, it wasn't what you put in it, it's what God took out of it.
Yes.
Well said,
So-
Julie.
So since then, we don't think about it, we just make it, and here it is. And that's what everybody needs to understand, is that it may not bring the dollar you thought it should bring, and it may bring more dollars than you ever imagined. You give it, and you just have to understand that you walk away and just let God do what God does.
And look how many people that rocker, that thrown away rocker,
Yes.
fed.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
this happens.
$1.60 is what it costs to make one of those seed bags. That's what it was last year. It may be a little bit more for content of those seed packets, but those feeding packets that the Gap group puts together will feed a family of 6. So you take that $350, divide it by $1.60, and look how many people you just fed because you trusted your gut and you did something.
So if your listeners are making things for harvest, or they've still got a few days, we do need things that have a talent involved. We don't resell things that have been purchased, but they can bring them in next week. That's when we will be receiving handcrafted items. Tuesday from 4 to 7, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 7, and Friday 11 to 7. Primarily on Friday, though, would be baked goods, things like that. We'd like to have all the handcrafts in by Thursday night because it takes a while to display them and price them. But I want everybody to remember, just like Julie said, when you bring something and you donate it to Harvest, I want you to see yourself as that little boy in the Bible who handed Jesus his fishes and loaves. It wasn't much. It was a one-person meal. But he gave it to Jesus, and Jesus multiplied it. And we may think 2.8 million sounds like a lot in 39 years, but what God did with that money is unknown to us. It's unbelievable. So we'll give whatever we can, and we'll trust God to multiply it. Now, I want to point out
You got
before we
plenty
go.
of time. Don't worry about it. You got plenty of time.
Before we go,
No, you're fine.
people always want to know what's new, and in addition to the passport experiences, some of the guys are going to have an old-fashioned garage right outside on the Pekin Street entrance, door H at Lincoln Christian Church. Pull up there, and they're going to jump out and wash your windshield. They're going to vacuum your car, check your tire pressure, your windshield washer fluid, and take care of that for a donation. And I hope you'll
There you go,
be
Jim.
very
I
generous.
was going to say, Jim, do you remember the old Texaco? You can trust your car to the man who wears a star.
So we've got a Harvest Garage doing that. Also, there'll be a little mini spa, so you can have a chair massage. And then we'll have some teen. Now that's an adult lady, but we have some teen girls who are going to be doing nail polish, and they're going to be doing hair tinsel styling, and so they're going to have
I've
a great
seen that
fun
in
with
some
that.
of our teenagers around town.
Yeah,
They're wearing tinsel.
Oh, these girls can do some elaborate braids.
little pieces of tinsel
Shiny.
in their hair. So I guess that's the new fad. So
Well, you can get it done
hair.
Harvest Day from 9 to noon.
Jim. We could tinsel your
I mean, those girls can do. They can
have
at
to
least,
glue it.
they
Glue
can do
it in.
something for him. You wonder, well, what kind of handcrafts do people do? We have everything for little babies, little pets. We have things for your gardens. We're going to have some wreaths for various seasons. All kinds of homemade candies. As a matter of fact, I made some pralines last night. So,
that sounds
and we
very
have
good.
things from around the world. Lots of things we have you need to come and see from Myanmar. We have things from the mission field, from India and abroad. Now, Julie's husband looks over the man cave. So, guys, there's something for you for your man cave. We have all kinds of baked goods, my goodness. Artisan jams and jellies and canned goods.
And that Pat soup mix.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Tell about that, Julie.
One of the things that Pat Snyder, and many of us refer to her as Aunt Pat. She was our honorary Aunt Pat. She has this bean soup mix. It's all dried beans, but it comes with the recipe. There's 22 different beans in the mix this year.
Oh, wow.
But she had gathered all of the ingredients, and then she passed very suddenly. She had made mention to her nephew that she wanted Barry and I to put it together, and we're not sure why she chose us, but we are blessed that she chose us. We have 57 pints of this beautiful bean mix. This is, I tell you what, this soup is really good. And she puts the recipe on it. It's a one and done. You throw everything in the pot and walk away, stir it occasionally, and come back, and it's amazing.
And these are some hard to find beans too.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That people have helped her locate. So that is really special.
It's an unusual
We love
mix.
So are those going to be sold
They'll be out and about
separately?
in the room.
They'll
No,
be out and about. Just, yeah.
with all the other handcrafts.
The other handcrafts.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah, I
you don't
wanted
want to
to
be,
mention that.
inside,
You can
be
sit
outside.
We've
outside.
got we've got some guys, the Carters and Kreider family. They just make such a nice campfire, and we'll have some outdoor seating. Plus, out there is where you can get your fried potatoes,
The pulled pork sandwiches.
Yeah,
pulled pork, yes,
Yeah.
and
Scones. Is XO outside?
and
Homemade breakfast burritos.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Those are really
now,
good.
let me tell you, those are handcrafted.
Really?
From the
burritos.
tortilla up.
They're not purchased. They are handcrafted right there. You can watch them.
Wow.
And they'll have smoked brisket sandwiches.
Hot apple cider.
Yeah,
hot
oh, it's so
hot
good.
chocolate.
It's so
your
good.
hot apple cider is delicious.
It's so good.
I wish we were.
Yeah.
Can we broadcast from there?
I would love it if you
Great.
did.
We need to move
Oh
the
my gosh,
cheap
it would be
seats or
so
something
fun.
over to Harvest.
And we'll just
Palace.
feed you while you sit there and tell people all about us.
You know,
Yeah.
we could go. Julie and I don't know where. Somebody stop us, really.
No, you're
But
right on time. You're
people
fine.
have gotten engaged at Harvest.
Really?
It's a family reunion. Some families choose
Mm-hmm.
that weekend to get together with their family.
Mm-hmm.
And the other special thing about this ministry is that by now it has involved 5 generations. And people want their babies to come to Harvest. And so you will see babies in strollers and care because they want their child to know
Getting pictures
that
taken.
from
It's
the
really
very
sweet.
beginning you attended Harvest. It's just one of those things that it's not about us, and so that's why it's so fun.
I love how it encompasses our community.
It does. Now, and I want to
It really does.
I wanna
It brings our
piggy-
community in.
piggyback on that. If you are not a person who wants to buy stuff, we also have some unusual things that people are donating that involve their time, but it's still their talent. We have people, we have a
Oh, yes.
chiropractor
Services.
who gives of her service, and so we put that in the auction, and they'll bid on chiropractic service, lawn
Dessert of the
maintenance
month, yeah.
services,
Lawn
dessert of the
maintenance.
month. So if you like to entertain but you don't want to have to bake, you get every month it's something new that you get to.
So
that
people
this
don't
person
think
will
that,
make.
oh, this is going to be, crafty. I'm not
Right,
trying to
no.
label it as that.
Yeah.
It's not. There's
Yeah,
other
it's not
things
just
there.
handcrafts.
Right.
It's actual
Actually,
services.
It's services.
Babysitting.
Right, because
Transportation to and from for a season or whatever it is. So people really are thinking outside the box. Our neighbors at the church I can't think of the name of their business, but it's the tattoo artists there. They have their business right next to the Christian church. And last year they donated
a tattoo.
a tattoo.
And,
So why not?
And his wife turns out made as good as any French macarons, and so you have no idea what's going to be. I mean, Julia and I are here to promote it because we love it and we know how wonderful it is. But even we have no idea what else is going to be coming in.
No clue.
For that day.
You two ladies actually sound like a kid at Christmas. what did Santa Claus bring us? And that's
Well,
wonderful. It's neat to see.
It is.
Such
This is where
excitement and
Santa
enjoyment.
shops.
Yes, and it's neat to see. Our community. Not just Lincoln Christian
Oh,
Church,
no.
but our
It's
community.
coordinated there.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
community
Yeah.
coordinated.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
to
as I
give
said
back.
earlier, things are coming from around the world to participate in it. It really is. And again, it's because we don't keep any of it.
Right.
It's given in Jesus' name, and so we're confident that it will go for the best purpose and multiplication. We start the day on Saturday. If you can come at 7 o'clock and be one of our first shoppers, we will start the day with the staff from International Disaster Emergency Service. There's a lot of them coming from Indiana. They will be there to greet you as the doors open, and they will give a devotion and an opening prayer. The harvest is bathed in prayer. It's based on prayer, and we're fooling around if it's not. So that's very important to us. And this year, since it's our 70th, since it's our 40th anniversary, the IDES staff is presenting our worship service on Sunday morning as a gift from them. So kind of giving our staff a little break. And we have 41 flags that will come in and march at the very beginning of each of the 3 services. And if you want to be a flag bearer, just let us know. Go on Harvest of Talents on Facebook, call the church 732-7618 and say, I can at least carry a flag on Sunday morning, but you'll need to be able to do it at 8:15, 9:30, and 10:45 at the beginning of each service. But it takes your breath away when you see the flags of the nations
And
come
those
in.
nations have all been touched by IDES in one way or another.
Yes.
That's
So
neat.
it's pretty
Because over 39 years, Harvest funds have gone to 41 nations, including the United States. So it's pretty special. It means a lot.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, I appreciate both of you ladies taking time out of your busy schedules this morning to come and share with us what is going
We appreciate
on.
what you do
Thank
for the
having us.
community.
Now we expect to see you there.
Oh, I already planned. I am. That's what I was saying. I love the smells. I like to,
Yeah.
that soup. I can't stress that enough to our listeners. It's just, there's something about that vegetable soup. It is
And it sells out, so we
it
want to
does
be
sell out, yes.
intentional about that. But what you're going to enjoy is seeing people of all ages just having fun with their reunion. You're going to enjoy that. Now, we have started taking credit cards and debit cards, but only for the auction and when you check out at the cashiers for the handcrafted items. But that's a help to some people, too. We will be selling $5 gift cards. If you want to buy some for your children, send them outside to go get the sandwiches and drinks that they want out there.
And just enjoy the fellowship.
It's the fellowship, yes.
Yeah.
At the end of Harvest Day, all of us absolutely collapse.
Right.
But it's the best tired you can possibly imagine.
Yes.
So
I look forward to it, as I do know, and like I said, it's been on social media talking widely, when is it, can we still do this, can we do
Yeah,
that?
you can still do
And that's why I
whatever
said,
you
hey,
want to do.
tune in and listen, and
You
we're
sure
going to have a
can.
show on YouTube here in a little bit, and so
Okay,
people, if they miss it, if they're at work right now, they can replay it, and I forgot that's going on, and they can go back to that.
And the one thing that Carolyn and I responded to is someone wants to get the bean soup mix, but they're not going to be here on Saturday. So if you'll contact us, we can set that soup aside, those jars aside,
jars.
and you can come and pick them up at the church and pay them.
Pet soup.
Pet soup.
Pet soup is what I would like to call it.
Yes.
So.
That's what we call it, so
Yes.
you certainly may.
Pet soup. So, yes, that's what I would like to call it. But that's wonderful. So, but again, Carolyn, Neal, Julie King, thank you so much for
welcome.
being
Well,
here.
we are here representing many, many people, many people who have their time in it, whether it's running the slides during the auction or setting up and cleaning up. But there are many people behind us, any number of which would love to be talking with you right now as well.
Everybody has a talent.
This is true.
Everybody
And
does.
Jake's is apparently not calling.
Well, yes.
That's his gift.
That's
and
his gift.
he
to
didn't
say
want
how
to.
many laps.
He didn't want to have to confess that the number is zero.
Yes. Yes. So we're
Zero.
shaming him, and we've been talking. I would like to know how many laps his skeleton in his Jeep has taken.
Well, there you go. Probably more than Jay.
Probably. And it's probably
That's right.
outdone Joe Ryan, too, I'm assuming. Well, ladies, thank you so
Thank
much for
you again
tuning
for having us.
being here on Viewpoint on 96.3. We greatly appreciate it. And folks, it is October 28th at Lincoln Christian Church.
Doors open at 7 a.m., auctions at 2 o'clock. And if you stop in at the Welcome Center, say hi, and I'll go find Julie and say hi to her.
Sounds
She's all over the
wonderful.
place.
I'm like spit on a griddle.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you to
Thank
our
you again.
listeners. And we'll be back next week, the Lord and weather willing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.